guys, today we're driving the Polaris Slingshot Roush Edition. We drove one of these a couple years ago. It was a blast to live with and quite a treat to spend some time in. Very different vehicle for me to drive and for the YouTube channel. Kind of a cross between a car and a motorcycle. I believe it's kind of classified as an auto cycle. Anyway, this Roush Edition makes quite a bit more power. It has 203 horsepower, 144 pound-feet of torque from a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It revs to 8,500 RPM, and it only weighs 1,749 pounds wet. It is quite a powerhouse. Let's walk you guys around it, talk about what it's been like to live with over the last week or two, and we'll take it for a drive and give you guys some driving impressions. So, much like the last Slingshot that we drove, this has a massive 20-inch wheel on the back. This is a 305 30R20 tire. This is a Kenda Radial SS-799. We are a little bit traction limited with this tire today. We are sitting at the wear bars, but once we get some heat in it, it shouldn't have too much trouble putting its power down. We have a really neat looking graphics package with this Roush Edition, along with Brembo brakes. This looks really, really sharp. A little more performance oriented than the other Slingshots, and it costs $38,000. So yes, it's not cheap, but it does put down some good numbers, and it is a lot of fun to drive. We have a 5-speed manual transmission. I believe it's from a Miata, and gearbox feels great. Once you get some temperature in this car, it really, really starts to sing. It is very, very loud. Pretty much all of your exhaust is coming out of the front end here. We can raise the hood up like this. Take a look at this 2-liter engine from Polaris. Over 100 brake horsepower per liter. It makes pretty good power and it revs to the moon. Sounds okay. I just like that this is such a lightweight and cool package. You can see it's all mounted behind that front axle. So we've got pretty good weight distribution in this Polaris Slingshot. There we go. Paint quality on this Roush Edition looks quite good. We've got kind of a metallic flake here. A lot of your body panels are all just plastic, but gosh, what a thing to behold. This is definitely a head turner. Everyone looks, everyone stares, a lot of thumbs up. You do have a reverse camera back here. Here's your top. Got kind of a half windscreen, which is tinted. Does impede visibility just a little bit in the dark in the later hours. If you're going out for a sunset cruise in this, that tint does make it a little bit difficult to see what's directly in front of you. Really nice seats, well bolstered, super soft, super comfy. Of course, everything in this interior is kind of waterproofed. This almost feels like you're driving around a jet ski in some respects. I did wash this earlier this week, and when you're hosing it down, all the water kind of just funnels itself into the interior, but there are drain holes and you can just wipe everything down. It's no problem. Ingress and egress takes some practice, but once you get used to it, not a big deal. I'm 5'10", I fit in here great. The seat belt is a reach to the right, which takes some getting used to. You have 2 drive modes, comfort and slingshot mode, which is very exciting. We even get cruise control, which is very nice. We can turn traction control off, our headlights on and off. You have brights, a bit of an infotainment. We've got a Bluetooth connection with a sound system. Last time we drove one of these Slingshots, we did test out the Rockford and Fosgate sound system. It was not very good. That might be something you might want to upgrade in your Polaris Slingshot if you're going to be cruising downtown and want to play some tunes. You do have some neat information here in this display. You can see engine temp, compass, battery voltage, mileage, and it looks like this even has a CarPlay connection. I do not have a USB cable with me, so We've got 2 ride modes, comfort and slingshot. You can adjust that right here on the screen or press this button. You have a night mode for your display, which turns it dark, or you can turn it auto or full day mode, which is white like this. I think this looks pretty good in the daytime. Light controls, hazard switch, and traction control off. We've got an information display here that shows us a few different things. You can toggle between a few displays here. There you go. See our miles. We have 170 miles of range left on this tank. And you can see our current drive info, navigation, phone information, music. Driving position feels pretty good. Again, these seats have lots of adjustability. They adjust on sliders. Backrest feels pretty nice. They are comfy and squishy. All right, I am wearing a full face helmet in this. There's a sticker that says, warning, this is a motorcycle. Always wear a DOT certified full face helmet. I don't believe this has an airbag, so that's probably a good idea, and we are not in a racing harness. So let's head out, get some temperature in this thing, and we'll take it for a drive. Setting off in the Slingshot is super easy. This is a very approachable car to get behind the wheel of and drive. The manual transmission is a treat to row through the gears. Throttle's nice and responsive, clutch is light and easy. This is actually a surprisingly enjoyable and engaging manual driving experience. This 2-liter can be a little bit temperamental when it's cold, but once it warms up, it absolutely sings. It's just really loud. I would recommend wearing earplugs with this. Brakes are manual, so they do require quite a bit of force. That does take some getting used to. It does sound good. Kind of comes on cam past half throttle. Ride is firm at lower speeds, but once you get up to 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, it does tend to smooth out the bumps a little bit better. And because this is 3-wheeled, it does make it a bit of a challenge to avoid potholes. Great visibility next to me, not so great visibility behind me. The extra power here feels fantastic. In my opinion, this is kind of the perfect power to weight ratio for this. The last Slingshot we drove felt a little bit stressed and a little bit underpowered. This is perfect. It's still not a very torquey motor. You gotta rev it out, and it loves hitting that 8,500 RPM red line. Brakes, I am a little bit disappointed with the brake pedal feel in this still. Again, manually operated brakes, but they just don't have the type of confidence that I'm used to in a braking system. The pedal's a little bit mushy. They seem to have decent bite once you give it a proper amount of pressure, but there just isn't a whole lot of bite. Alright, let's see how this handles a little bit here. Slingshot mode. basically like pillows. They're very soft. All right, let's do a little 0 to 60 here.
Section. That is fun. Traction control limits you a little bit, but it still does allow for quite a bit of wheel spin. I like that. Brakes there. All right. For some reason, traction control doesn't seem to be turning off, so it's kicking in a little bit there, which is what we just experienced. Fun to drive. All right, so what do we think here? 38 grand for the Roush Edition Slingshot. The power's fantastic. Brakes are not really a big upgrade in my mind. I think this version looks fantastic in the whole lineup, at least. It's kind of expensive for the build quality. Everything in here is just kind of plastic and exposed. But it's probably the least expensive way to turn every head in town. And on top of that, it's a pretty good driving experience too. It's not quite as raw and connected as a motorcycle, but it's closer than a Miata or an S2000 or, you know, a traditional convertible or roadster. Stint here. See what this feels like at speed. Headphone users, beware, it's probably going to be loud.
there's our rear camera. Nice. I wonder if we can leave that running so we can have a rear view mirror. It looks like we can. That's great. We do get cruise control, which is nice to have. Vehicle. What a fun car. Honestly, not too different of a driving experience from the regular Slingshot we drove a little while ago. Just the extra power here is really nice to have. We get a little bit over 5 inches of ground clearance in this, so it's actually, it can handle a speed bump. There we go. Alright guys, well, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Those are my thoughts on the Polaris Slingshot Roush Edition. We'll be spending some more time with this car. Maybe Substitute Topher will get behind the wheel, post a video on his channel or on the Winding Road channel. But for now, that's it for me. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. That just flew in the cabin with us, so we're going to try to drive him out. There we go. Escape was a success. Should we test out the sound system? Maybe. Speakers are the same.